So even as Trump insists that the U.S. is winning against Iran by degrading its military capabilities, Tehran's response has been shattering, with Iran unleashing a volley of missiles and drones on its military bases across West Asia. The U.S. is facing a major challenge like never before. Last weekend itself, a particularly dramatic visual garnered significant attention, remember? It showed one of America's 16 E-3 Sentry aircraft destroyed in an Iranian strike at the U.S. base of Prince Sultan Air Base in Saudi Arabia. We've told you about this. This airborne warning and control system aircraft, costing close to $270 million US, is a key U.S. asset, given its ability to track drones, missiles, aircraft from hundreds of kilometers away. And as per reports, multiple U.S. military personnel were also injured in the attack. The airbase was first attacked on the 1st of March, resulting in the death of a U.S. soldier. Now, this was followed by a drone attack on the 13th of March, when 5 KC-135 refueling tanker aircraft were damaged, reportedly. Since the beginning of the war, at least 10 more American bases have suffered damage because of Iran's retaliation. For instance, 6 American soldiers were killed in a drone strike at Kuwait's port on the 1st of March. Other U.S. bases in the country, like the Ali Al Salem Air Base, also struck, causing significant damage to communication systems and buildings overall. The Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, which is the largest American base in the region, has also come under attack. Iran also claimed to have destroyed a long-range radar system costing more than $1 billion US near this air base. Additionally, an Iranian single strike on the U.S. Navy 5th Fleet headquarters in Bahrain on the 28th of February reportedly caused damage of $200 million US. Iran has also attacked key bases in the UAE. That's not even all. A radar system worth about $500 million US was damaged in an Iranian attack at Jordan's air base. This was on the 4th of March. The Erbil air base in northern Iraq, meanwhile, has also been regularly hit by drones. As per reports, the U.S. incurred close to $2.9 billion in losses in the first 3 weeks of the war itself. So the cost is staggering. It has lost key military assets like the F-15E Strike Eagle fighter jets, the KC-135 Stratotankers, MQ-9 Reaper drones, and radar systems. So while the U.S. has ramped up its military strength in the region, with its troop size now exceeding 50,000 reportedly, there are growing concerns about the depleting weapon stockpiles. For instance, the U.S. reportedly fired more than 850 Tomahawk cruise missiles in the first 4 weeks of the war itself. Now, the U.S. losses, of course, are not restricted to material damage alone. According to reports, U.S. military personnel have been compelled to work remotely from hotels and office bases after Iran's retaliatory strikes have rendered many of the U.S. military bases inhabitable. Also, the human cost of the war for the U.S. cannot be understated. 13 U.S. military personnel have reportedly died so far. CENTCOM has also acknowledged that 303 military personnel have been injured, out of which 273 have already resumed duty, whereas 10 others are seriously injured. With the IRGC threatening to attack hotels and other sites being used by U.S. soldiers in West Asia, it is quite apparent that the U.S. faces serious risks as it mulls a possible ground invasion. The Houthi rebels officially joining the fray alongside Iran and Hezbollah. With the Strait of Hormuz already choked into a stranglehold, the rebels have issued a chilling ultimatum. If the Gulf states interfere, the Red Sea becomes the next global headache. Take a look.
A narrow waterway, endless cargo ships, a lifeline of global trade. The Red Sea corridor carries oil, goods, and geopolitical weight. For now, it flows. But the threat to choke it is growing louder. Yemen's Houthi movement has issued a stark warning. If Gulf nations join the Iran war, the group says it could move to shut down a key Red Sea passage. The focus is the Bab al-Mandab Strait, one of the world's most critical maritime choke points. The message is direct: join the war and the sea will burn. The Houthis, aligned with Iran, have fired 3 missiles targeting Israel.
Our armed forces, with the help of Allah Almighty and in reliance upon Him, carried out the 3rd military operation in the Holy Jihad battle, which targeted with a salvo of ballistic missiles sensitive targets of the Israeli enemy in southern occupied Palestine.
Now, the threat is expanding beyond missiles. It is about control of sea lanes. The Bab al-Mandab connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Eden and is vital for global shipping. Any disruption here could force vessels to reroute around Africa, driving up costs and delaying supply chains worldwide. With Hormuz already under Iranian control, a Houthi-led closure of the Red Sea would effectively cut off the Suez Canal. The world's economy would be further crippled. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
While a clampdown on the war front was expected, US President Donald Trump's 19-minute-long address to the nation broke little new ground as such. However, he once again contradicted himself on a series of key issues, ranging from nuclear weapons to the Strait of Hormuz. And this raises a crucial question. Which Trump should the world believe? Here's a detailed report.
"32 days into the West Asia war, the endgame remains uncertain. While the White House gave a 4 to 6 week timeline at the outset, Trump has now muddied the waters further.
We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong."
One more goalpost shifted. Trump said that he wants to crush Iran's military to an extent where it cannot build a nuclear bomb.
Their Navy is gone, their Air Force is gone, their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb.
A week earlier, though, Trump's version was drastically different. He claimed that Iran agreed to never have a nuclear weapon.
I don't want to say in advance, but they've agreed they will never have a nuclear weapon. They've agreed to that.
Just hours after linking a ceasefire to opening the Strait of Hormuz, Trump flipped again. He claimed that this waterway will open up naturally after the war ends and pass the buck to other nations.
The countries of the world that do receive oil through the Hormuz Strait must take care of that passage. They must cherish it. They must grab it and cherish it. They can do it easily.
Now, in yet another U-turn, Trump said the US does not need oil from the region, after earlier boasting that his favorite thing is to take oil in Iran.
The United States imports almost no oil through the Hormuz Strait and won't be taking any in the future. We don't need it. We haven't needed it, and we don't need it.
So which Trump should we believe? He has normalized the contradictions. He says one thing on Monday, and then on Tuesday he makes a complete flip. Trump heads the world's biggest economy. He's the commander-in-chief of the world's most powerful military. His every word is watched closely. The markets react immediately after he raises the prospect of an end to the war. But when Trump makes a complete U-turn, the market tumbles. On Wednesday night, when Trump made his 19-minute speech, over $500 were wiped out from the US markets. World leaders, even his allies, are now openly questioning the contradictions of Trump.
There are people who argue for forcibly clearing the Strait of Hormuz through a military operation, a stance that has at times been expressed by the United States of America. I say at times because it has shifted. That has never been the option we have chosen, and we consider it unrealistic.
As Trump continues to flip-flop, Tehran has reached out to Americans directly. Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian urges people in the US to see beyond floods of distortions as war rages.